All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to begin. Sorry for making you wait so long. We have a lot to cover today because when we get done with Sakamoto Days, eat me some lunch, and then we're getting right back on Black Myth Wukong. But let's begin with Sakamoto Days today, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another Sakamoto Days read-through. Today we are going to be reading Volume 11 of the series, titled One Blow. To give you a little bit of a synopsis of where we are, the assault on the JCC has begun, and Kanaguri is already there, and he's already massacred some teachers, so that's happening. And we find out that the whole purpose of the whole database that we all wondered whether it was going to be, and I honestly thought that the database itself was just going to be like this big mainframe, or maybe like some records that were hidden away that only some people knew about. Turns out, the database is a living person who has remembered all 38,764 people who have taken up residence at the JCC across the history of the school, and that is that person also happens to be the grandfather of Amane, and the grandfather of Amane, and his daughter, Amane's mother, was killed by Mr. Yotsumura, the same dude that the Order were attacking on the highway about 2 volumes ago. So now the JCC is preparing to now Slur and his group are preparing to assault the JCC, and Kanaguri makes a first move by killing a whole bunch of people, and he enters into a hallway looking for some good footage, and he runs across quite possibly the most overpowered person in the entire school, at least the only one we know of. Ms. Satora Sensei is the first person his eyes lock with as they face off. They have a face-off in the middle of the hall. So the chapters we are going to be going through is chapter 89. Hold on, let me get the whole volume here. Chapter 89 all the way to 97. Let's get started. Days 89, Sensei. Also, Medela, good to see you. Hopefully your day has been fantastic. But Days 89, Sensei. And it shows Satora and Kanaguri. At the end of the long, long corridor stands a middle-aged woman with a ghostly pale face. The young man realizes that her footsteps make no sound and raises his head in horror. In the eerie silence, only the sounds of his heartbeat is strangely loud. Insert sound effect here. What is fear? And all of a sudden, before oh, I told you last week. I told y'all last week that the more I saw of this woman, the more she scared me. While Kanaguri is looking down the hallway where Satora Sensei is, she is already in front of him. Mind you, he's looking down the hallway, but she's already in front of him with a knife coming up towards his throat. And then there's a splatter of blood as Kanaguri launches backwards because he's been cut. He's actually been hit. My, you interrupted the crucial introduction to the story. And while he's jumping back, Satora is already on him. And she grabs him by the wrist. And all Kanaguri can go is, And he gets sent flying outside of the building. He gets sent flying outside of the building, and he lands on a rooftop, and Satora Sensei is already coming after him, and she lands on top of him, trying to stab him with this. It's not even a knife. That looks like a shoto. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Yeah, it's a shoto. I wanted to make sure. But she tries to stab him with a shoto, and he's protecting himself with that same old clapperboard he's been using. Now, mind you, The rooftop that Kanaguri landed on is apparently above a greenhouse, and when Satora tried to land on him and stab him, they went crashing through the roof and landing on the ground below. Enough impact to leave like cracks around Kanaguri from hitting the ground so hard. Now I remember. I know you. Etsuko Satoda, the oddball who rejected the invitation to join the order and chose a teaching career instead. I shot a movie about you a long time ago. Fiction, though. So, you're the scoundrel who goes around making movies of assassins' lives. Then I suppose this is the sequel? No, I don't do sequels. And Kanaguri drops up. We also got Satora's full name, Etsuko Satora. No, I don't do sequels. Oh, that's too bad. The beauty is in encapsulating a soul into one. The beauty is in encapsulating is in N. I got to do that with the proper accents there. The beauty is in encapsulating a soul into 140-minute story. But I like Terminator 2 better. And wow, she literally just insulted the way he does movies by saying like, I like sequels better. I like Terminator 2 better. Hold on, let me get chat up off to the side real quick. I'm already liking this chapter. And there we go. But I like Terminator 2 better. And she starts dashing towards him, trying to kill him. Then what have you come here to do, assassin? You misunderstand. I'm not an assassin. I'm a filmmaker. I don't have killing skills or weapons. All I have is my ability as a first-rate filmmaker. Yet, you have shown yourself to do all the things that an assassin would do. Disappearing from sight, moving quicker than the human eye can see, killing people before they even realize they've been killed, but you only consider yourself a filmmaker? And you ain't a bona fide killer? And while she's saying that, Satora grabs him by the wrist. And she realizes, I can't budge him. When I hold the camera, I never let it shake. This man would be a massive asset to found footage because he would never shake the camera at all. And also, this is a first-rate tracking shot. And he starts moving all around Satora-sensei faster than she can actually react because she's spinning around and he's already gone and he's already a distance away because we're seeing from the perspective of his camera that he's a far distance away from Satora when she's already trying to spin around. This is a first-rate tracking shot. We do a whip pan and cut. And he goes for Satora. He aims for her and then it just cuts away to Akira and Sakamoto. It's so quiet. Do you really think someone scary got in? It was just 10 seconds. We're dealing with... We're dealing with Slurs King. Don't underestimate them. I feel like this speech bubble is supposed to be for Akira first and then Sakamoto. It's so quiet. Do you really think someone scary got in? It was just 10 seconds. We're dealing with Slurs Gang. Don't underestimate them. At any rate, we have to find and secure the database before they get there. Right. Our first stop is the janitor's room. Shin and Seba are near the new... Wait, is it? I gotta zoom this in because the words are small. Shin and Seba are near the incinerator. And then Sakamoto is silent. And then Akira just goes, they'll be fine. Shin has a new weapon. He's stronger than ever. Plus, we've got to train with Satora-sensei. She's amazing. How is Satora-sensei? Do you know her? She's really kind. Satora-sensei always puts her students first. She's an unusual assassin. She helped me and Akao plenty of times when we were students. Oh,
I see. I can't wait to see Rion. I hope the database knows where she is.
Akira, there's something I should tell you about Akao. And then words are starting to be said. Words are starting to be said, but I think they're backwards. Cake, berries, chocolate strawberry cake? Chocolate strawberry cake, candy butter cookie, clap. And then Sakamoto's eyes go white, and then Akira just goes scatterbrained.
Destroy the database! Destroy!
Akira, come to your senses!
What just happened?
And then they all notice that every one of the other students have gone scatterbrained. This has got to be Club Jam. I think this is Club Jam. Because Club Jam clapped their hands beforehand, and then Amane tried to fight Sakamoto. So I think this is Club Jam. This is the only logical explanation. Find the database. Destroy the database. Where is the database? And they're all just walking around like zombies. Database. Theta base. Theme park. T-bark.
The same brainwashing as Amane. Another enemy from Slur's gang. Hurry, Akira, to the janitor's room. We'll take a shortcut through the poison department's greenhouse. Right!
And they just start jumping over all of the students. And then we get to broadcasting. And we get to broadcasting, and someone goes, "Everyone's seduced by sweet words. When I clap my hands, the world obeys." So it's Club Jam. And Club Jam is currently on the ground with someone pressing their foot against their heads, while another person is whipping Club Jam with an actual, I want to say, cat o' nine tails or something. And the dude that's pressing on Club Jam's head goes, "It feels so wrong to step on someone's head." And another person is going,
I hate this. Ever since this guy clapped his hands, my body won't obey. What did he do to us?
He hypnotized them so that they could beat. He hypnotized them. Club Jam hypnotized them so that they could physically abuse him. On purpose. I still can't feel. I'm sorry. That's just weird to me. You're gonna hypnotize people so that they can physically abuse you? Okay. And then Club Jam just sighs. I still can't feel anything. I don't get any thrills whenever I have acts of violence committed against myself. I want to be subdued and cry and beg for forgiveness. And Club Jam claps his hands again. And those two faculty members, they come to their senses. I can move again? I'd better get going. I need to find some real pain. Something that'll make my nerves throb. And you getting flustered thinking about that? You blushing? You blushing from that? And then it cuts to Kanaguri, who goes, "Club Jam is on the move." And then we get to Satora, who has apparently been injured. Her eye has been injured. Her clothes are kind of tattered and messed up. She's been roughed up, but Kanaguri still doesn't have a single mark on him. "How many times do we have to retake this scene?" "However long it takes to protect my students until your film is destroyed." And then a whole bunch of students just come bursting into the greenhouse. Where's the database? Destroy the database!
You students, stay out!
And then Kanaguri just smiles. And then we get to Sakamoto again.
Once we get through this greenhouse,
as Sakamoto is saying this, and he's running past an open glass paneling of the greenhouse, we see Satora getting hit by Kanaguri, and a big old spray of blood is shooting out. Kanaguri took that moment of her worrying about students to deliver a solid bloody blow. And Sakamoto notices this, Akira notices this, Satora is looking at Sakamoto, and their eyes are just wide. Satora her eyes are just normal, but Sakamoto and Akira's eyes are just wide, with Akira going,
Sensei?
And that's the end of chapter 89. Onwards to chapter 90. We're getting closer and closer to the 100s of chapters. We're getting closer. But now we have someone speaking. You turned down the order? There's something else I want to do. It's the pinnacle of the assassin profession. The pay is on another level, too. There were 25 of us in our class. Only the 2 of us are still alive. People die too often in this world. And it's this long-haired individual who has like all black clothes, messy hair, and he's just smoking. And we have someone who looks eerily like Amane's grandfather, because he has that same janitor getup on. And this is also a flashback because the borders are black. People die too often in this world. Ah, and we start this chapter with Satoru Sensei just on the ground, bleeding out. Days 90. Sensei Part 2. We have to start by... I read this entire opening part wrong. That is not a dude. That's Satora Sensei when she was younger. I gotta do this again. You turned down the order?
There's something else I want to do.
It's the pinnacle of the assassin profession. The pay is on another level, too.
There were 25 of us in our class. Only the 2 of us are still alive. People die too often in this world. We have to start by changing education.
And we come back from this flashback of Satora Sensei in the past to her in the present, and she's just on the ground, hair just flailed out everywhere, bleeding out.
Byodo. Now there's one less.
And Akira just runs into the greenhouse screaming,
"Ah! Sensei, no!"
Can it be? The heroine of my movie? Meeting again like this, it's a twist of fate befitting a protagonist. My eye never fails. I was right to kill her. What a beautiful expression it produced. And Akira is staring angrily at Kanaguri. And then all of a sudden we see something move quickly. We see something go shoo. And we see Sakamoto, who has completely left his Aoi disguise, and he's right next to Kanaguri. And all you see is just a blur of his arm right next to Kanaguri's face. And it looks like Kanaguri gets hit a little bit and he gets forced to skid backwards.
Mr. Taro, your body!
And then Satora Sensei goes,
"Oh, it's you, Sakamoto? You've grown into a fine young man."
"Long time no see, Sensei. You haven't changed a bit." I haven't done Sakamoto's voice and it feels like so long.
"Well then, I'll leave the rest to you."
"Right. And then it shows Satoru Sensei's face, but her eyes have lost their color. We just lost Satoru Sensei. Bruh, I was just talking about how she was the most overpowered person at the school. And now she's gone. And Akira is just crying.
What? No! Sensei! Sensei! What do we do, Mr. Taro? Sensei isn't breathing! Sensei!
And then Kanaguri is right there next to Akira. Like a person on a child reality TV show that's showing a child crying on camera. He's going, "Your sensei is dead, Akira Akao." The tears trail softly down the young girl's cheeks. And Sakamoto comes in, not having none of this foolishness, and punches away Kanaguri again. Taro Sakamoto, unfortunately, I have no reason to film you now. And Sakamoto ain't saying nothing. I'm not interested in B-movies anyway. And Sakamoto dashes straight towards Kanaguri. And he picks up a whole bunch of dandelions. And then with one solid breath, he blows all of these dandelions directly in front of Kanaguri's face. Dandelions? Is that supposed to blind me? Ha! And while he's doing that, Sakamoto is already above him and proceeds to kick an entire tower of a cactus directly towards Kanaguri, and Kanaguri just dodges away. Sakamoto, you got to break the camera. You gotta, that's the weak point. You gotta break the camera. I played enough video games to know that the one thing that this man holds dear above all else is his camera, because he hasn't let go of his camera ever since we've seen him. You gotta take the camera out. The story of an ex-assassin living an ordinary life is worthless to film. And as he goes to try and hit Sakamoto, the impact from him trying to hit Sakamoto blows out the windows of the greenhouse. And Sakamoto has like a slight cut on his cheek now. This attack blew out the windows of an entire greenhouse. And Sakamoto only has like a cut on his cheek. All that for a drop of blood? God, Thanos had so many good lines you can use today. I saw you during the test. Does that mean you're in cahoots with Slur?
Cahoots? This is just a part of my project. I have only one goal. To make a movie about the conflict between the JAA and Slur. Of course, I'm filming from the Order's perspective as well. He wants to make a film about the assassins versus Slur and his assassins of assassins?
What?
As long as the movie's a masterpiece, I don't care who wins. Don't worry, Akira Akao. I'm making sure you have an important role. Having an emotionally relatable heroine draws in the viewer, after all. The girl whose aunt was killed by Slur has a catchy ring, doesn't it? Huh?
Whoa, this is what Sakamoto was trying to tell her! And she finds out this way?
The girl whose aunt was killed by Slur has a catchy ring, doesn't it? Huh? What? You didn't know? Your Aunt Ryo Nakao? Stop. Was eliminated by Slur.
This is one of the most horrible ways to find out that your aunt is gone. Whoa! Oh, hold up! Wait a minute! And the next page we get is Satura Sensei, who I thought she died, who gets up and throws her Shoto between Sakamoto and Akao, and all we see is Kanaguri's eye as the Shoto flies through the air, through his camera, and into his own eye. I told you, this woman scares me. I told you this woman scares me. And Kanaguri drops his camera. And Satora is just standing there.
Sen?
Rising even after death to protect her student. Now that's what I call Japanese horror.
Don't tell me she's dead, but her body can still move off a muscle memory? What sort of Rock Lee nonsense is this? See, Rock Lee started it. Rock Lee started it. Even when he was rendered unconscious against his fight with Gaara during the Chunin exams, this Joker got back up. He was physically unconscious, yet muscle memory compelled him to stand back up again. And now we got a person who literally just died, and the muscle memory is so strong that the body gets back up and still tries to attack. And it actually did something, because this is the first injury we see Kanaguri actually suffer the entire time we've seen him. So much for him never letting go of the camera. And that's the end of the chapter. No, that's amazing. That's an amazing teacher. Even after death, she's still looking after her students. Put her up there with All Might. That's the end of chapter 90. Onwards to chapter 91. And we get a color page. And it shows Satura. And Sakamoto's looking at her. Sensei. Then we get Amane, Seba, and Shin. Days 91. Kanaguri versus Sakamoto. And we have like a color page, a big spread here, where it has, it looks like Amane, Shin, Sakamoto, Akira, Seba, Mafuyu. No, that's Nagumo. Sorry, Nagumo, because neither one of the Seba brothers actually smile. So that's that's Nagumo and Seba, Natsuki Seba, along with, and they're all in this like top-down convertible, red convertible. And then we have Mr. Shishiba and Miss Osaragi, and they're on a motorcycle. Miss Osaragi looks chill here. Kanaguri versus Sakamoto. Let's go! Leave the rest to us. And Sakamoto lays Satora Sensei's body down, and Akira is just looking because of what Kanaguri just said.
Your Aunt Ryo Nakao was eliminated by Slur.
Akira.
Mr. Taro, did you know about my aunt?
I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I promised Akao.
No, she can't be dead.
I know how you feel. I've heard Ryo Nakao was an extremely beautiful and talented assassin. The fact that I missed a chance to film her death scene is so frustrating. I can't stand it!
And even though Kanaguri has one eye closed because he got stabbed in it, he got impaled, Akao grabs that same Shoto that Satora Sensei was using, and she immediately speeds over to Kanaguri, who catches the blade and keeps it from hitting him directly in the neck. Y'all be so sure of y'all strength, where y'all just stop a blade just inches from your throat. Y'all trying to show off? No, I'm gonna stop it before it gets close. I don't want like a subtle bump to happen, and then all of a sudden you just kind of lightly stab me in my neck. No, I ain't trying to be all slick like that. Keep the blade away. Y'all playing too much.
I'll kill you!
Don't rush towards your own death. You're an important performer. But wait, if you lost an arm, the one-armed beauty could make for a compelling character.
As he tries to go for Akira's arm, of which Sakamoto slaps away his clapperboard.
Mr. Taro!
Huh? And he did it. Okay, the thing that Sakamoto keeps Kanaguri from, killing, slicing off the arm of Akira with was his own camera. His own camera's been destroyed by his own clapperboard.
You wouldn't.
And it shows his camera just crushed, and crumpled under the weight of the clapperboard he just tried to use. And Kanaguri is just looking and he starts sweating. My camera! I didn't even get to tape! I had so much good material! I can't stand it!
Whew. Now that I had a good shout, I feel calm. Take 2!
And he's screaming his head off, and then he's just calm in the next second.
Let's see. Now, what sort of script leads to our heron's despair?
And he gets sprayed in the mouth by Sakamoto using a water hose from the greenhouse.
You're done messing with Satora-sensei's school.
You're a pain, Taro Sakamoto. Stay out of my frame.
And Sakamoto's just looking at him. And Kanaguri's looking at him. And Sakamoto proceeds to knock this dude directly outside of the greenhouse. And he sends him straight out of the greenhouse. Oh, I love it when Sakamoto's just looking at people, and the next thing you see in the next panel is this person being launched outside of a building. I love it. And Kanaguri is just, basically defending himself. Because even while he's still airborne, Sakamoto once again launches him through another building into the school library. And everyone just sees him going like, whoa. And Kanaguri lands in between some shelves and he looks up and he sees that Sakamoto isn't directly in front of him. And they start walking through the aisles. And then they see each other through the shelves. They look at each other. And then they start trying to fight each other through the shelves of the bookcase. I don't think we've ever seen that. I don't think there's ever been an action movie where people are trying to fight each other through the shelves. Hold on, chat doesn't want to update once again. There we go. You called it RIP camera. Rest in pieces. Rest in pieces. Yeah, I called it. I figure like this dude is so fixated on this camera. Destroy it and you get rid of his concentration for this film. But I don't think I've ever seen an action movie where people see each other through some bookshelves in a library and they try fighting each other through the bookshelves. They just start exchanging blows. And then Sakamoto grabs Kanaguri by the scarf, like his film reel scarf. His scarf looks like, I didn't mention this when I first saw Kanaguri, but his scarf literally looks like that of a classic film reel. And Sakamoto grabs him by it and proceeds to yank him through the bookcase. Mind you, there is no big opening for the bookcase for a human body to normally stick through. Yet he just grabs the scarf and just yanks him through it and proceeds to throw him across the library into a railing and then leaves him there. And then Kanaguri is just laying over this destroyed railing, hanging off of it a little bit because they're still in the library. This is a big library.
I lack motivation without my camera.
And Kanaguri is dripping blood on top of a person. Write your name on your library card. And there's a little notification next to the student.
Whoa, a dead person! Get a video of it. I gotta put it on my story.
What stories are you gonna have that'll allow you to have a dead body shown on the camera? Don't answer, because people are stupid.
Huh? Cameras!
And then it shows Kanaguri. Who has beaten both of these people unconscious and taken their phones.
I hear you can shoot movies with smartphones these days. It's good to embrace new techniques sometimes. When life gives you lemons, then challenge yourself as a director.
Where'd he go? I sent him flying too far.
And while Sakamoto's looking around, that same scarf gets wrapped around Sakamoto's head, and Kanaguri tries to hit Sakamoto, and he blocks it.
Poor composition!
Oh, Sakamoto prepares the block as he's sent flying through the library as well. Where are y'all getting this strength from?
Poor composition!
And sends him flying.
I've drawn hundreds of millions of storyboards.
What's going on? He's moving quicker than before. I can feel good composition in my bones. I know it like the back of my hand. The camera work it takes to win.
And he's just repeatedly hitting Sakamoto, but he's also still recording it as well.
Zoom.
And then takes the phone and shoves it in Sakamoto's face and throws him on the other side of the library.
Too bad, Taro Sakamoto. If you want to be the main character in my movie, lose weight. Bodies that makes the audience uncomfortable are nothing but distractions in the movie.
And he's saying, and I'm like, bruh, you're saying that if he wants to be a main character of your movie, you don't realize that he's the main character of this entire story. The story is literally called Sakamoto Days, not Kanaguri Days. But he goes, huh? And all of a sudden, multiple bookshelves collide and pin him between them. Hold up! Yo! What you mean? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? What is this? What is this? I thought he couldn't do this anymore. I thought he couldn't do this anymore. We get Sakamoto, but his glasses are off. His body slimmed down. He's back to his old, super athletic, lean, muscular self again. I thought that when that lady from the medic clinic punched his, pressure points, it made it so that he didn't necessarily need to go back into this form anymore, and his body would be far more comfortable fighting in his fat form. But no! Dude slimmed down! No matter how good the cinematography is, if the script sucks, then it's a 1-star dud.
Special makeup? You really want to be in my movies that badly, huh?
This is not makeup. To be continued. That's the end of chapter 91. No, we gotta keep going. Chapter 92. Days 92. Deal.
Interesting. Changing the shape of your body with special effects makeup? Pretty impressive. Now, you finally piqued my interest.
And while he's saying this, Sakamoto is standing next to him. You know how how Kanaguri was looking forward, and then Satora Sensei was already in front of him preparing to stab him in the throat? Sakamoto is standing right next to him while Kanaguri is still looking at where he was. And he just raises one leg all the way up and brings it down. And a whole bunch of collateral damage happens. And Kanaguri gets launched backwards a little bit. He goes, he's fast. As Kanaguri gets hit slam in the face, destroying not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 whole bookcases from the force of this kick to the face. Just destroying it completely. Not going through them, literally splitting them through the middle, breaking them in half. All 5 bookcases. I love this story. I love it.
My camera can't keep up. Gah, I can't capture anything.
Quiet in the library. And then Sakamoto's standing there, and then Kanaguri looks over at the person who's in charge of the library and goes,
hey, where's the fisheye mode?
Here.
Nice. I've decided to film your death scene. Non-fiction, of course. Do you know the difference between a masterpiece and a flop, Sakamoto?
And Kanaguri suddenly has a stage light. He suddenly has a stage light, and he still has the camera. He still has the phone in his hand. He's still got the camera phone going.
It's whether or not I'm the one who filmed it.
And Sakamoto's just standing there, face indifferent. Meanwhile, Shin's team, and it's Shin and Amane and Natsuki.
What's with the zombies? Ah!
Destroy the database. Destroy.
Why do zombies always have such poor vocabularies?
Man, if you hadn't screwed up back there.
Oh, it's my fault?
Several minutes earlier. And then this is everyone I just mentioned running past all the zombies earlier on.
What's with them? Suddenly they're all marching in a mob.
Everyone started acting strange after that weird broadcast.
Forget them for now. We've got to secure the database.
I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. You could have just kept that to yourself. You didn't have to say that out loud. You know what you're doing. You didn't have to say that out loud. Because all the students hear the word database, and they all stop moving and look in the direction of Shin and company.
Database?
Database? Database.
Le database? Database.
Huh? And they all start taking off after Shin and company. And now we're back in the present.
There are two enemies. One of them's a hypnotist. They got me earlier, too.
Interesting. They're recruiting fighters on site.
And the students who are hypnotized, they got guns. They start firing guns. Destroy the database.
You always see hypnosis on TV, but everyone knows it's just an act.
And Shin proceeds to... What is he doing? I think he destroys like either a support beam. I think he destroys a support beam with his new weapon. He destroys a support beam, and the shards from this beam hit all of these students directly in the head with enough force to actually bring them out of this hypnosis.
What?
What was I?
My head hurts.
And then some other students run past the ones who have regained consciousness, and they start speeding towards Shin and everyone.
They just keep coming and coming. It's endless.
Then Amane gets an idea. Oh, wait, not an idea. He actually sees one of the people that he's friends with in that old delinquent dorm where Sakamoto visited the first time. He sees one of them has been turned into a mindless drone as well.
Destroy the database. How come you're being so passive?
That's my friend.
Oh, come on! This is no time to be...
And as that happens, both Shin and Amane get pushed and launched off of the school railing, and they are several stories up. But before they can fall any further, Shin gets grabbed by the scruff of his neck by a person with a broom. It's the janitor! It's Byodo! It's Janitor Byodo! He gets grabbed by the scruff of his neck with this broom, and both he and Amane are safely pulled to the other side while the students fall down, and they fall on some sort of long sheet. Sorry, there was a loading wheel on my mouse for a quick second. I thought something was wrong. But all the students fall on this long sheet between the floors. And then we get Shin and Amane who are by themselves because Natsuki's not there.
I thought we were done for.
That was a close one.
Grandpa!
If he's your grandpa, you're the database!
It's been a while since anyone's called me that. I'm just a regular guy with a slightly better than average memory.
Dude, you remember 38,764 people. That's well beyond slightly better than average.
Slur's after you. You must have some information he wants to destroy. Please tell me what you know about Slur. It's the reason I came to the JCC.
And then Byodo is kind of silent and he goes,
Slur, right. It's true, I know Uzuki's secret. Although I don't know if that information is useful to you.
It doesn't matter. Just tell me.
Yes, of course I'll tell you. But before that, how about helping me drive them out of the JCC?
And then Byodo just brandishes a gun, John Wick style, and Amane is all like, huh? Grandpa, you should hide! They're after you! It's dangerous out here! You're too old! And as he says this, Byodo, without even skipping a beat, shoots all these students who came up right behind him, preparing to stab both Amane and everyone else in the room. Byodo shoots all of them directly in the head.
Amane, let me tell you something. People who judge others by their appearances don't last long in this world.
And he's just standing there, and he's still. And the thing about Byodo is, we haven't seen him lose the single smile he's had until they mention Slur's name. And Amane's looking, going, because apparently these were non-lethal rounds because the students are still very much alive, but they're kind of, unconscious.
After we beat them, you're going to tell me about Slur, right? Yes, if we both survive. All right, in that case, we should first...
And Shin is looking around and he notices that Natsuki is not with them. We lost Natsuki. Y'all didn't think I noticed. They didn't think I noticed, but I was all like, Natsuki's not with them. But now Shin is noticing that Natsuki's not with them.
Where's Seba?
And then we go to the broadcasting room. And we get Club Jam. And Club Jam is humming, and then Natsuki is right behind him.
I figured you'd be near the broadcasting room.
And Natsuki is using his invisibility suit.
Who are you? You've been taking care of my little brother. Where's Mafuyu Seba?
What's in it for me?
In exchange, I'll tell you where the database is. Let's make a deal.
You're exchanging the life of one person for another. And the life of your brother, you couldn't just bring them all down and make them tell you where your brother was. But we have Club Jam, who just starts smiling, and then we have the face of Byodo, and that's the end of chapter 92. Onwards to 93.
Natsuki, what are you doing?
Days 93. Rapport.
You'll tell me about the database if I tell you where your brother is? You mean the black-haired kid with the face mask that Gaku scouted? Sure, but you go first.
And then Natsuki's just looking.
This is the database. This is the database.
And he's holding like this little digi card in his fingers. Ah, Natsuki's not stupid. Oh, thank God he wasn't about to make a bad decision.
This is the database. The info on every student is on this SD card. There's no backup.
And Club Jam is already behind Seba. Also, one thing to notice about Club Jam is that he still has those ropes tied around his torso in that, pattern, but he doesn't have a shirt on. So he's like in bondage rope, but he doesn't have a shirt on. Weirdo. But then Club Jam is already behind Natsuki, and he's already snatched away the SD card.
Make another joke and I'll kill you.
Because it shows that he not only took the SD card from Natsuki's hand, but broke both his index finger and his middle finger as well. They're literally bent in a place where fingers should not be bending at all.
Make another joke and I'll kill you. If you don't know anything, then should I kill you now? Which shall it be?
And then Natsuki just starts walking and he goes, "Follow me." And then Club Jam just starts humming again.
That jerk Seba! So much for working together!
Destroy the database! Destroy! And we have Shin, Byodo, and Amane running from the zombie students.
I can't find the enemy's location by reading these zombies' minds.
Database. And then Amane's looking back, and he gets popped in the head by Byodo.
Amane, don't hesitate, even if they're your friends. Huh? I noticed you held back just then.
What? So I'm supposed to kill them?
There's plenty of ways to stop them without killing them.
Oh, come on. Lecturing me at a time like this?
You're soft. What did you learn in your 8 years at the JCC? If I should ever become your enemy, don't hesitate to kill me. That's what it takes to survive in this world.
Old bastard. And then Shin is looking back at them. And then we have Club Jam and Natsuki.
Well, a data storage facility. It's so dark and exciting.
And it shows Natsuki and Club Jam, and they're looking at all of these different files.
Strange. These seem to be someone's personal documents. I see. You want to have a painful death. You're just like me.
And Club Jam crushes these personal documents in his hands. And someone calls him an idiot. They call him another word, but since I don't use profanity, I cannot say those words. But someone calls him a name behind him, and he looks behind him, but all we see is a bullet hole. Oh, it's the screaming bullets again!
Nobody's here. A bullet hole?
And then it shows Natsuki. It shows Natsuki throwing something, and it's these, I can't tell, are these caltrops or are these like, oh, these are the liquid nitrogen! I remember, he throws the liquid nitrogen bombs towards Club Jam, freezing his legs towards the floor. And as he looks up, Natsuki presses a button and goes, "Checkmate. This is my domain." As the floor opens up to a giant boiling pit underneath them. And then Club Jam grabs on with his one available hand to the one section that is still stable as the other pieces fall into this big molten vat that is directly underneath. And while he's holding on, Natsuki starts to step on his fingers.
Talk. Where's my brother?
This is fun. I'm having a great time. I'm so glad I followed you.
Huh?
An incinerator crackling below me. This is so much more exciting than being threatened at gunpoint.
Hey, I'll ask one more time.
This feeling is what life's all about. The terror and pain of being on the cusp of death. These are the moments when we're most human.
And as he's smiling, Club Jam claps his hand and starts to fall towards the molten vat. And then blood starts to shoot out of his nose. His eyes kind of haze over. And then he pulls this chain linked to a ring on his finger from behind his back. And he slings it towards Natsuki. And it's like a sickle chain. It's like a chain with a sickle on the end. And he not only saves himself by, grappling his way back up, but he does so in a speed where Natsuki can't react. He's already behind Natsuki, and then proceeds to cut him directly into his arm, causing Natsuki to reel on the ground. And then he steps on Natsuki's hand this time. Also, the same hand where he broke the fingers that was holding the SD card with the fake database that he said had the database on it. He steps on that same hand. So that hand, one, already very, very much hurting because it has broken fingers on it. And two, dealing with the pain of the fingers, having them stepped on while also having your entire arm sliced into.
Humans are so wonderful. We can achieve anything we set our minds to. For example, you want to escape this pain, right? It's okay. It doesn't hurt. 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 It doesn't hurt.
He says this over and over and over and over and over again, and he keeps whispering this to Natsuki while he also has that same sickle above his neck.
See? It stopped hurting. The secret to total brainwashing is to begin with a little bit of the secret to total brainwashing is to begin with a little bit of hypnosis. Your brain already trusts my voice.
And Natsuki's eyes kind of widen and they look like they gloss over a little. And then he claps his hands.
We've established a rapport.
And then, the same feeling that came over Amane when he was hypnotized falls onto Natsuki.
Tell me the truth. You actually know where the database is, don't you?
And then we cut back to Shin, Byodo, and Amane. And they're running, and Shin protects himself as Natsuki drops on top of him, invisible, and reveals himself.
Seba! You...
Oh, so that's the database.
Because Club Jam's right behind him. Great. Okay. Now we have Club Jam, who's directly in front of the very person they're trying to murder so that Slur's secret doesn't get out. And that's the end of chapter 93. I'm so glad I've been reading this story. But then we begin, that was the end of chapter 93. Onwards to 94.
Seba! You...
Watch out for the guy behind Seba. He's the one who hypnotized me and works for Slur. That old man is a database?
Yes.
Then kill him.
Days 94. Twisted. As Shin jumps in between Byodo and intercepts Natsuki.
You're not the type to get hypnotized! Snap out of it, you idiot!
And he goes to punch Natsuki. But Natsuki is already moved because, invisibility.
I can't detect his location.
I made a brainwave blocking hood.
Ah, what a pain in the butt!
Because remember when he made that hood so that Shin wasn't able to read his thoughts? Yeah, he's now using this against Shin. And Club Jam jumps on top of his shoulder. Just literally jumps on top of his shoulder and launches. Seba is Shikamaru, really? Seriously, he is. That's the reason why I made the Shikamaru joke when we saw him again. When we saw him again during this whole arc. I made the joke. He's literally Shikamaru. He lazies around, but he's actually one of the biggest geniuses at the entire school. He literally made an invisibility suit. But Club Jam jumps on Shin's shoulder and goes launching towards Byodo. And Byodo's not really phased.
I'm better at sitting through lectures.
Grandpa, duck! And Amane comes in and swings his sectional staff towards Club Jam and hits Club Jam. But Club Jam goes with, oh, like he's enjoying getting struck.
Ugh, what's his deal?
Ah, thank you so much! He's literally holding his cheek because he likes the fact that he got hit. Weird.
Are you okay?
As it shows Natsuki in front of Shin. And he manages to dodge out of the way before Natsuki can actually hit him. Natsuki can actually hit him and goes,
there's only so much I can evade using intuition.
And then a hand comes out of this invisibility and blocks Shin's view as he then gets launched across the way, across some school desks, by Natsuki. And while he's falling, and this must be one of the cafeteria rooms, either a cafeteria room or just a classroom where you can eat stuff, because this might be the cafeteria, they might be in the cafeteria because there's a lot of utensils around. He grabs some utensils off the table he was on and proceeds to throw them towards Natsuki. Natsuki dodges out of the way while also going invisible. And Natsuki has his own weapon. Shin runs up to him. And then whatever energy that Shin was building up in his glove, it suddenly dissipated.
Oh no, the recoil!
And it shows Natsuki's knife getting closer and closer and closer to Shin. And we cut back to the warehouse where Toromaru and Mafuyu are.
Yo, when are you just gonna let it go? Nobody's gonna come rescue us if we just wait. Besides, Slur's a hottie.
She's already turned herself into a Slur fangirl. She's got his picture up behind the wall. She's got pictures of the slashed up X behind her as wall. She has a fan that says "Notice Me Slur" on it. And the words on this picture of Slur, on this Slur poster, first of all, where did you even get a poster of this man? But she's got a poster that says "My Fave." Once she found out that Taro Sakamoto was the big guy and her interaction with Slur, she switched sides. She didn't even really think about it. She just switched over to Slur's side. She's already making a Slur plushie. First of all, where did you get this stuff from? It had to be Kashima who gave her the sewing supplies.
Besides, Slur's a hottie.
You're quick to switch sides, Uggo. I called my big brother. He'll be here soon.
What? So you got a brother fetish? Are you too close?
Not really. We don't talk much. I hated him when we were kids.
Huh?
Our parents were clueless. They always made us train and play together. So we have Mafuyu, age 5, and Natsuki, age 9. And they're kids. They're kids, and they are dressed up in combat-ready gear, with pouches, like combat pouches, and a short knife on both of their belts. But my brother's 4 years older, so he thought I was a pain. He was always ditching me.
That's harsh.
I always thought I'd kill him one day.
That's extreme. Well then, I doubt your brother's coming.
Now, mind you, when he says I always thought I'd kill him one day, it shows Mafuyu, when he was younger, being surrounded by wolves. The parents of Mafuyu and Seba literally gave them the Garp training treatment, where Garp would just throw Luffy into the woods and have him fend for himself, or drop him down a ravine and have him fend for himself, or just leave him in any places that would be dangerous for your average child and have him fend for himself to toughen him up so he could be a real Marine. Their parents, Mafuyu and Natsuki's parents, did that to them. What is wrong with parents? But whenever I find myself in real trouble, he'd always show up. And it shows the wolves are not necessarily trying to attack him, but they're just licking him all over.
Aw, that's love! Secret love! He was totally looking out for you.
Huh. He's just clever.
Lucky. I wish I had a big brother.
And Mafuyu's just thinking, you're late, stupid Natsuki. Then it cuts back to Natsuki. And he apparently stopped himself. He apparently stopped himself from stabbing Shin. He was this close to killing him. The blade is literally this close from his face. Huh? Why'd you stop? And this is Club Jam. Where's Mafuyu? Wow, you're resisting my hypnosis? You're really twisted, huh? But once you've dreamt a dream, there's no waking up. Kill him. As he claps his hands, as Club Jam claps his hands again in order to make Natsuki obey. And then we see Natsuki's hand move real quickly. As not only does he ignore, we see Natsuki's hand move real quickly, and we see Shin moving real quickly. Because not only does he ignore Club Jam's order, but both Shin and him proceed to land both of their attacks on Club Jam himself. Shin gets him with the punch, Natsuki gets him with the stab. And all we see is just Club Jam's eyes widening over, blood spewing out of his mouth, much to the surprise of Byodo. Sometimes your ESP comes in handy. Man, you're a cheesy actor. And it cuts to Shin, who we get like a little 30 seconds back flashback where he telepathically speaks to Shin. Like Shin reads his mind and he goes, I'm going to ask him where Mafuyu is. If he knows, then he's bound to think of it. After you get the answer, we don't need him anymore.
When did you escape the hypnosis?
I was never under it to begin with.
What?
Hypnosis is all an act.
Duh. And then Amane and Byodo rightfully smack him in the back of the head.
Ow.
You nearly had me killed.
You might be my senpai, but fool me again and I'll kill you.
Come on. You choose your own brother over another guy's grandpa, too.
And he has some comically large bumps on the side of his head.
So where's Mafuyu?
Oh, he's in an abandoned warehouse in Bangkok.
Bangkok. Yeah, Bangkok. Wow, that's a name of a place I haven't heard in years.
He's in an abandoned warehouse in Bangkok. Slur's probably there too.
And then it shows Club Jam's hands raising and he claps again.
Huh?
As Amane suddenly attacks everyone.
Yeah. Amane?
What did I tell you? Once you've been hypnotized, there's no escape. You want to kill the 3 people in front of you so badly, you can't stand it.
And because Amane is still under this is literally like the Assassin's Kyoka Suigetsu suggestion. From Amane's eyes, Natsuki, Shin, and Byodo, his own grandfather, all look like Mr. Yotsumura, the very person he wants to kill. They all look like him.
Dad?
Huh?
Now, time for me to play.
To be continued. That's the end of chapter 94. Onwards to chapter 95. Wait a minute. We're going all the way up to 97, right? Wow, we're getting through this kind of quickly. Sakamoto Days. Days 95. I said Days 95, and I didn't even finish. Days 95. Amane. And we have a color cover page where, whoever did this color page where it shows Natsuki invisible and the light distorting around him, the way they did the color of that is very well done. We got Shin, Byodo, and Amane, who apparently has like indigo colored hair. Specifically indigo. And Amane starts attacking everyone.
Hey, snap out of it, Amane! What's the matter?
And while Shin is saying this to Amane, it's also being kind of said in Yotsumura's voice, according to Amane, because he's under this suggestion.
Dad!
And he starts slicing everything around, and he starts slicing everything around him.
Yikes! He sees us as his dad. His dad? What the heck happened to make him hate his dad so much?
His dad killed my daughter, Amane's mother.
Why?
There was a whole mess with the JAA. He hates his dad and the JAA so much he wants to annihilate them.
And then Club Jam is just laughing in the background.
All of the various types of pain. Pain of the heart is the most special.
Rubbing salt in a child's wounds. You're garbage.
Oh, more! I want more abuse!
As Club Jam claps his hands again, and then Club Jam's eyes wide over.
Self-hypnosis again.
Gramps, be careful! And as Natsuki says this, Club Jam is right behind Byodo. Preparing to cut his head off. But Shin comes in and grabs him before Club Jam can kill him.
Huh?
This vibe, it's the same as that time. The slightest lapse could be lethal. I don't want to waste time here.
Hey, your right arm must be completely wrecked by now. You might have one more attack at most in you, and any more and you'll destroy your arm.
Stop with the bad jokes.
Because while Amane is swinging his sectional staff, Shin blocks it, but doesn't notice that the actual other end of the sectional staff is coming right next to him, and he ducks out of the way to keep this blade from hitting him in the face.
That was close.
Fun! I want to play!
And Club Jam comes up right behind Shin, preparing to cut him down, and then Natsuki goes,
You're playing with me.
and he has a gun pointed at Club Jam and shoots, and it tasers Club Jam.
Ah! I've never been electrocuted before!
This won't hold him for long. Do something about that kid, quick!
Do something? I've got one more punch with the glove, and I can't use it on Amane. There are plenty of ways to stop them without killing them.
And Shin realizes, and his eyes start to highlight, showing that he's using, like, being able to look into the future a little bit, and the blade gets closer and closer to his face, and he dodges around, spins around the pole, and then we get the words of Satora-sensei. May she rest in peace.
With your hips as your axis, use a circular motion to deflect an attack. It's called the rotation principle.
And he uses the same principle that Satora effortlessly used against all the students on Amane and pins him to the ground.
I'm glad I paid attention in class.
You scumbag of a father! I'll kill you!
I can't believe his strength.
Because Shin is having a hard time keeping him still.
Amane, you've got a good memory like me, right? Think back and remember what kind of a man your father was. What kind of man your father was. Huh?
Dad. And then we go back in time, and we see Yotsumura holding Amane in the past. And he's smiling, holding his son. Then we see him using his 3-sectional staff, and he's cutting entire bottles just apart all over. Then we see that Amane was actually quite gifted with art, because he drew an entire pagoda, like an entire pagoda temple. And his father gave him like an endearing, proud pat on the head. And then the next thing we get is Yotsumura standing over the corpse of his wife. Amane's mother. Blood all over the place. And Amane is horrified. Amane, forget all of this. And then Amane snaps out of it. Grandpa? My dad.
The brainwashing wore off?
As Club Jam has Natsuki by the throat and is preparing to kill him.
Behave, my little puppet.
Seba!
Life is easier when you're under the control of others.
It is not. And as Club Jam prepares to clap his hands again, it shows the back of the head of Amane. Oh! Oh! Amane did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Amane, with his back turned, in one swift motion, cuts off one of the hands of Club Jam so he can't clap. Try activating your clapping hypnosis. You owie Toto, you are not. Your boogie woogie ain't gonna work because you ain't got no curse technique. But he slices off Club Jam's hand, his right hand to be exact. And Club Jam is weirdly ecstatic about seeing his limb just bleeding out. He's like flustered and huffing and puffing, and he starts rushing towards Amane going, "Pain, suffering, I feel alive, so alive!"
It's over, you sick masochist.
And before Club Jam can do anything else, Shin, with all of his strength, delivers such a massive blow to his chest that he craters the wall he embeds Club Jam in. And Club Jam is just left in a heap, while Shin is just standing there, glove crackling with energy, bleeding a little bit, but standing triumphant over a member of Slur's group being downed. And that is the end of chapter 95. Onwards to chapter 96. We're almost done with volume 11, everyone. Let's keep going. Days 96. Healthy.
Seba, don't just lie there.
Pardon me. I'm sorry.
Seba, don't just lie there. Wake up!
Dude, have mercy on an injured guy. Where's that crazy masochist?
It's over. Amane cut off his hand, so he won't be able to use hypnosis again. We'll hand him over to the JAA.
Oh, bondage play. I love it.
And then Shin starts feeling the recoil. He starts feeling it in his head and then falls over.
Hey. Not again. I did too much future reading in one day.
You okay?
Don't talk to me right now. We did it, Mr. Sakamoto. We took out one of Slur's henchmen.
Don't pretend you don't feel well.
I'm gonna kill you later.
And then we have Byodo and his grandson.
Grandpa, I just remembered Dad a little bit. I don't know why I'd forgotten until now. What was the reason Dad killed Mom?
I don't know. Go ask him yourself.
Right.
It's ironic. The enemy putting him in that deep hypnotic state could be why he was able to dredge up those memories. That Yotsumura, where is he and what is he up to?
Then we cut to the JAA Western Japan headquarters. 46 JAA members dead, and those are just the ones we've confirmed. 3 assassination businesses have been completely annihilated. Sukiyaki Sizzler, Citrus Shop Sweetie, and Arashiyama Sapuji Murder Temple. Oh wait, this is someone reading this out. 46 JAA members dead, and those are just the ones we've confirmed. 3 assassination businesses have been completely annihilated. Sukiyaki Sizzler, Citrus Shop Sweetie, and Arashiyama Sapuji Murder Temple. The main perpetrator in all 3 cases is thought to be former Order member Satoru Yotsumura. He was kicked out of the Order 8 years ago after an attempted assassination of JAA execs. There's a price on his head. No one's seen him since. He's currently thought to be hiding in Kyoto. His connection to Slur is unknown. That is all. And then we have someone speaking, an old man.
Too bad. I used to go to that sukiyaki place a lot.
Fukumitsu, director of the JAA's Western Japan headquarters. And then we have Nagumo, who's, at this briefing. A lot of JAA bases in Western Japan are restaurants. I'm jealous. I hear they have member discounts and stuff. They really do. They really do. And then the person who was reading this information is there just silently standing next to the head person.
If we don't do something, JAA Western Japan's profits will suffer. And that's on top of the stream of assassins who have been quitting the JAA out of fear of being assassinated. When we can't cover job requests, we have to let those gigs go to other branches or overseas. Cities become dangerous without a functioning base of assassins.
Aren't we overreacting a bit? And this is the dude that is standing next to Fukumitsu. And his getup is, think like Principal Yagi. Yagi from Jujutsu, but he doesn't have any shades, and he has like a big old earring in his ear. Hold up. Not Yagi, Yaga. Okay. Yaga from Jujutsu. And this dude who's reading all this information out could be brothers. They got the same haircut. They got the same haircut. And they got the same beard as well. The only difference is this dude ain't wearing shades. Aren't we overreacting a bit? Maybe he used to be in the Order, but he's still just one assassin.
A single Order member is more than capable of wiping out a whole branch of the JAA. Don't underestimate Yotsumura.
It's all right. We're here to make sure that doesn't happen. And then the dude that looks like Yaga goes, "We're in this fix because you guys let him escape 8 years ago." Hey now. Yeah, you're telling me. I so get that. Who let him get away anyway? And then the guy gets up close to Nagumo and grabs him by the scruff of his neck and goes,
Let me tell you something. The order is limited to 10 members. In other words, you snooze, you lose. You've been lucky to hold on to a spot. We've got plenty of assassins on your level.
and all of a sudden, this dude's head just gets taken off. His head gets taken off, but then it appears to be fine, and the dude just falls forward unconscious. And then Fukumitsu goes,
Stop! Don't desecrate this holy hall with your bloodlust, you idiot.
huh? Bloodlust? What you talking about? Yeah, what you talking about? Wow, the bloodlust from Nagumo was so strong, it made this man feel like he had his head sliced off, and he just fell unconscious because his body couldn't cope with that. The bloodlust induced this man to fall unconscious because he saw his death. The bloodlust! Okay. Huh? Bloodlust? What you talking about?
Nagumo, you get it. If Shishiba blows it again.
It's for the order, right? I get it. That's my job. And then Fukumitsu just kind of tilts his head a little bit. Oh, by the way, if that guy wakes up, tell him something for me. It's true that membership is limited to 10, but the roster has never been full. There's plenty of room. If he wants a spot, he's welcome to try. And so, wow, I never noticed. So, how many people of the order have we seen? We've seen Kanaguri. We have seen Mr. Shishiba, Hio, Miss Osaragi. Okay, let's go in order. So, we got Nagumo, Mr. Shishiba, Miss Osaragi, Hio, Old Man Takamura, Kanaguri. And I think those are the only ones that we've actually seen. But now we have Yotsumura, who is walking through the alleyways, and that same lady who somehow managed to survive his massacre at the place when all those people tried to kill him, she's there with him, just following him with an umbrella. Then Yotsumura, he raises his head a little bit, because who's there to meet him in the alleyways except Mr. Shishiba?
Excuse me for disturbing you in the company of such a beautiful woman. Based on JAA regulations, I have to kill you both for conducting and abetting systemic violence against the JAA.
Kill us both? Oh, scary. Have mercy.
Well. You really look the part, Shishiba. You're more suited to the order than I ever was.
Whatever. It is a lot of work. Mr. Yotsumura, what's your goal? Are you working with Slur to wipe out the JAA?
I'm not working with anyone. Once the JAA is extinguished, I'll be able to look my family in the eye again.
Oh, Amane? How old is he now? 13? 14? Right at that rebellious age. He won't be able to see you.
Talking with you like this brings me back to that time. The night I screwed up that mission, you came to me like this.
I can't let it slide this time. I have my own position to consider.
I could just cry. If I hadn't rescued you from the streets, you'd be nothing but a common thug. Have you forgotten who gave you that scar on your chin?
I called it from our last reading when they were talking about like who let him get away, who let Yotsumura get away. And I called it on how the order would make Shishiba be the one to hunt down Yotsumura all that time ago. I called it. But Yotsumura prepares his sectional staff because he's preparing to fight.
Have you forgotten who gave you that scar on your chin?
And before he can do anything, Miss Osaragi just comes. She just juggernauts through. Okay, Satoru Sensei, she scared me. Miss Osaragi? No, she scares me. Ever since her fight with Dump, I'm like, yeah, this woman is built different. This woman comes barreling through an entire house and proceeds to shoulder check Yotsumura through several more buildings. Ha! What are these people made of? She just tackles him and puts him through several buildings. And here's the thing. I was looking at this thinking that she was driving him through the buildings. No, she comes in and slams him so hard that he goes through several buildings. This is even worse. This is an even worse. This is an even worse thing. It's one thing to hold on to a person and then just pin them and then just drive them through several walls. It's another thing to hit a person so hard they go through several walls because of the force. And she's just okay.
Sorry, I'm stupid. I don't remember. I mean, I did drop out of school after all.
And Shishiba and Osaragi are just standing there. She's ready with her circular saw. She's got the cord attached. And then Osaragi speaks.
Mr. Shishiba,
Yes?
when we're done, I feel like eating tofu.
Something healthy for once? Something healthy for once? I know a good place in Gion.
And it shows Yotsumura at the epicenter of at where he stopped flying, and he's just sitting there. No, I don't want to connect to my sister's TV. What are you doing? And he's just sitting there, and he just kind of adjusts his hat. Even after being put through several buildings, the dude is just moving as if he didn't get put through several buildings. These people are built like tanks. And that's the end of chapter 96. Onwards to the final chapter for volume 11, chapters 97. Let me double check. Let me look at the full list. Scroll all the way down. Yep, this is the last chapter for today. Then I'll get me some lunch, and then we're playing more Black Myth Wukong. But now we go back. I think we're going back in time. And we have Yotsumura. We have Yotsumura, who I guess this is the past? As he goes,
You sure made a mess.
Shut up. If you're going to kill me, hurry up and do it.
I can let you live. What? I have another job to do. Wanna come along?
Why would I?
I'm understaffed, thanks to a certain someone.
oh, so this is Mr. Shishiba in the past when he first met Yotsumura, and he apparently killed all of his own henchmen. So now he's conscripting him to come help him out with this job, since he killed all the henchmen that were going to help with the job.
I'm not cut out to work under someone else.
That's not up to you to decide. The key to being at peace in this world is to surround yourself with people who you are okay with dying.
What's the hourly pay?
It's by commission.
And then we go back to the present, where Yotsumura is swinging his staff, and he takes out several walls of a building. In days 97, one blow. Hey, it's the name of the volume. And he takes out multiple walls. He takes out multiple walls in an attempt to hit Shishiba and Miss Osaragi.
What a lively young woman. Is she your kohai, Shishiba?
Please pardon Osaragi. I should have had her greet you properly.
I'm sorry.
She's shy with new people. Forgive her.
It's hard having an assistant who doesn't listen.
I'll be sure to speak with her about not finishing you off with the first hit.
And when he's saying this, Yotsumura tries to hit him with his staff, but Shishiba jumps up Hammer at the ready. Him and Obara would definitely get along. And it shows Osaragi coming up right next to Yotsumura with her saw, and the lady with the geisha-looking lady that was following him with the umbrella, she blocks the saw with her umbrella. First of all, what type of umbrella is that? You got an adamantium umbrella? You got the perfect umbrella shield from Sekiro? What is this?
That's not necessary.
And then proceeds to launch Miss Osaragi through a building. And she lands on the ground, visually bothered by that.
Mr. Yotsumura, this isn't nice. You're only paying attention to the young people.
Sorry about that.
And she clicks her... She's got a penguin umbrella. She's got a penguin umbrella from Batman. She twists the handle of her umbrella, it closes, and then she just starts opening fire on Osaragi, who's dodging. And then she's jumping through the air. She unfurls the umbrella, and then she clicks it again. This is a trick umbrella! She's clicking it again. I love Kanaguri style. Dude, yeah. I'm late. Don't worry about it. Skip, it's good to see you. Killer Bean, good to see you as well. This is the last chapter for this volume. But it's all good. Don't worry about being late. Don't feel any way about it. It's all good. But she opens up her umbrella, clicks the handle again, and then spikes just appear all around the rim of the umbrella, and she starts spinning and shooting these spikes out of it. And Osaragi is still trying to defend herself, and she jumps up on a rickshaw. Oh, where to, young lady?
That way.
Hang on tight. And then the geisha's all like,
why, that looks fun.
And then we're back with Shishiba versus Yotsumura.
You know, I moved.
Huh?
When I first picked you up, I thought you had what it took to be an assassin. You know what it takes to be a good assassin?
Either a fanatical belief in killing or no belief in it at all.
Oh, I told you that already.
It's sad when old men say the same things over and over.
Assassins. Assassins who have
I gotta roll it back because family was trying to ask me what I wanted for lunch, and we already have leftover pizza downstairs. I'm gonna eat.
Oh, I told you that already.
It's sad when old men say the same things over and over.
Assassins who have mixed feelings about killing get all caught up in their heads, and before you know it, they're dead. Those with a simple mindset don't hesitate. That makes them strong.
Why do old men always want to talk about their theories? Imagine how we feel having to listen to you ramble politely.
You're as cold as ever.
And it shows that someone just tried to hit Shishiba from inside of a room, and it's a separate person. Huh. And it's a person who has these very long knives or nails. They look like nails.
You've got a friend out there. Fine.
Huh? And these nails, or these knives that shot out, they apparently explode because they got these beads that start going like... And they just explode. And, pardon me. Shishiba is already in the air with the dude that was throwing these needles at him, trying to hit him repeatedly while they bound across the rooftops.
There is no need for you to step in, Mr. Yotsumura. We can handle these kids.
And they're just fighting across the rooftops. And then another individual is right above Shishiba, and he looks up, and this person proceeds to try and slam him through a restaurant roofing, pounding him into the ground, and it craters underneath Shishiba. And while they're both looking at the place where Shishi was supposed to be, yeah, Shishiba, he hit the ground and the dude is already behind them because he takes a hammer, he takes 2 hammers and proceeds to yank their heads off. I didn't say cut their heads off. I said yank their heads off. He just took the claw end of the hammer and just pulled their heads right off.
Gotta work on Nick's strength.
Oh, sir, please refrain from violence in the shop. And as this person is saying this, Shishiba takes what looks to be some, what is it? What is that sweet treat that they put on the sticks? I forget what it's called. But he takes it and he eats it and then proceeds to stab the guy in the neck because that guy is also working with Yotsumura. He just stabs the dude, he just eats it and then proceeds to casually stab the guy in the neck because the dude had a knife out preparing to kill him.
Drat! Thanks. That was tasty. Here, this should cover it.
Thank you. And then Shishiba prepares to leave the building, and as he goes to open it, he punches straight through the door itself. He punches straight through the door itself, as not only does he punch through the door, but Yotsumura was on the other side, so they both attack each other. And in the process, Shishiba gets cut across his face, and Yotsumura's face gets torn out because Shishiba is using the claw portion of his hammer to hit him with.
We start with one blow.
I should have killed you back then.
And that is the end of chapter 97. We end this chapter with Shishiba and Yotsumura exchanging blows, and they're already suffering damage. Shishiba with a cut across his cheek, and Yotsumura with a whole chunk of his face pulled off. And that is the end of today's reading for Volume 11 of Sakamoto Days. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor and a privilege to read this volume of Sakamoto Days to all of you. And if I look at the listing for Sakamoto Days, the next big major volume where they actually have like a picture volume of what these chapters look like on Viz will be 12. And then after that, I have to go and see how many chapters are in each individual volume because I don't have it arranged like this on Viz yet. From February 19th of 2023 all the way to where it is now. So I still got a ways to go before I fully catch up with the series, but we're getting better. But ladies and gentlemen, this peak volume, yes, the fight between Satoru Sensei and Kanaguri versus Sakamoto, Shin and everyone else versus Club Jam, the subjugation of Club Jam, and everything else. And now we have members of the Order fighting each other. Well, former members. One is a former member. Shishiba and Osaragi versus the Geisha woman and Mr. Yotsumura. So that's going on right now. So yes, honestly, to be honest with you, Killer Bean, a lot of these volumes from Sakamoto Days have been really peak. They've been peak. They've all been exceptionally good. But I'm done with today's reading. Time to eat some lunch because I'm probably going to schedule playing Black Myth at 3 o'clock. So if I do my food now, it'll give me plenty of time to rest up before we get started. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to today's live dramatic reading of Sakamoto Days Volume 11. See you next Monday, where we continue with Volume 12, and then continue on with the series until we fully catch up. But I'm done for today, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a wonderful audience. Killer Bean, Skip, Madala, and everyone else who has watched me today, all I can say to you is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!